Welcome to the WACO Experience, an American story,
We the people.
with your host, D. Scott Smith.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Interviews with leaders in business, government, and nonprofit organizations.
Promote the general welfare.
Jobs, products and services, and infrastructure for strong communities.
Secure the blessings of liberty.
The WACO Experience is an American story, a story of communities across America. It is your story.
I'm working on a church group right now on a faith-based tour, the land of Paul, which starts in Greece and goes all the way from Greece through Italy and all the historical religious sites.
Today on the WACO Experience, an American story, we learn about WACO-based Travel A Go-Go from owner and travel agent Gregg Dungan. This is an online service at no cost to you, the traveler. I'm your host, D. Scott Smith. Each week I bring you stories from leaders in business, government, and nonprofit organizations. You can learn more about this program, our sponsors, and the podcast version of this show by going to our website, thewacoexperience.com. This program is made possible by sponsors. Quality Cabinets. Your home is an extension of your personality. Smooth, clean, and elegant. Quality Cabinets is the perfect choice for the modern aesthetic. Visit the Design Center at 720 New Dallas Highway in Waco. Quality Cabinets, modern design, everyday comfort. Call 254-744-0938 and visit the website qualitycabinetstx.com. Christian Family Law Solutions is a Christian-based, solutions-focused mediation provider. They help their clients avoid costly litigation and remain focused on the most important priorities in their lives, creating paths for peaceful resolution, not brokenness. Call 254-777-5171 and on the web, 1c6.law. PresentGifting.com. Imagine never forgetting an event for those important people in your life, because relationships are important and moments matter. Present Gifting is a free service to send you gentle reminders of birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and more. Register today at PresentGifting.com. Heart of Texas TV Indoor Billboards. My friend J.B. James Battle, former helicopter pilot for the U.S. Army, and his team at Hot TV, amplify your brand where it matters most. Be seen where your customers eat, work, shop, and play. Learn more on the web, hotdigitaltv.com. Waco Independent Film Festival, named one of the coolest film festivals in the world. The Waco Independent Film Festival is celebrating its 10th anniversary, July 16th to 19th. WacoIndy.com. Ray's Automotive Specialist. My car is my baby. When it needs service, I call Ray. Certified technicians, Christian values. Domestic or import, Ray has you covered. Call 254-495-7810 and on the web at fixmycarray.com. D. Scott here back at the Baylor Club. It's just a nice day here in Central Texas, and I'm with Gregg Dungan, and he is of Travel A Go-Go. We're going to talk about his travel business. We have just been sharing literally war stories over lunch. We've had a great time here. But Gregg, welcome to the WACO Experience.
Well, Scott, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for having me as a guest.
When I was younger, before the internet, I always used a travel agent to do our travel for our family, for any business travel that I did, because I always found that hiring a professional saved me money. And I had a better experience. I got better flights, better cars, better hotel. Everything was better. Then the internet came along, and a lot of travel agencies went out of business. Let's talk about what's going on. What is Travel A Go-Go, and who do you help?
Well, Scott, you're exactly right in what you said. The travel industry changed and has continued to change with all of the options we have with the websites and all of your just digital platforms that are out there to get information from. And for a long time, I think travel agents kind of became, insignificant to people. They just forgot about them. And now you're seeing a resurgence of them because while there is a whole bunch of that information readily available for anybody to utilize, it's still maneuvering all of that into one nice, neat package and then hoping that you got everything right so that when you go, you can truly just go and enjoy yourself and not have to worry about unexpected, expenses, unexpected things that maybe you overlooked or didn't think about. I got into the travel business. I've been very blessed my whole life with a family that traveled the world. And so from the time I was a small child, I've traveled all over the world with my family. And then now as an adult, I've traveled quite a bit, and married a woman many years ago that really didn't like to travel. And so it became a challenge for us because she didn't want to go on a plane. She didn't want to go on a boat. She didn't want to go anywhere. And I finally broke her of that. And now I wish I hadn't, because now she does not want to stop going. The beauty of, and I think the big resurgence with travel agencies now is the fact that we truly do make it a one-stop shop for people. The whole design of a travel agency is to sit down with an individual, talk about what's your ultimate dream package, what do you want, what do you like, where do you want to go, what do you envision this trip to be like, so that when you go on it, it is completely stress-free, and it does create lifetime memories for you to have. And more importantly, entice you to tell others and yourself want to come back and do it over and over and over again. I mean, that's, we're put on this earth to enjoy ourselves. And, I think a lot of times trying to do a lot of that on your own, people get way too stressed out. And then a lot of your misconceptions get formed because of bad occurrences that happen. And that's not to say, as a travel agent, we don't have incidents that happen. We're human, and we can't control things like Mother Nature and agenda changes and stuff like that. But we take a lot of that stress and everything away from people.
So let's get the contact information. Let's talk about Travel A Go-Go. How do people find you? Because it's not a physical building. People
it's
don't
not
walk
a physical
in.
building. No, I mean,
so give us, how do we get a hold of you?
You can reach out to me, Gregg Dungan, at my email, which is Gregg, Gregg, Travelagogo, just like it sounds, Travelagogo @outlook.com. Or you can go on to my website, which right now is kind of in a reconstruction phase, but it's still usable, which is travelagogo.net. And once you maneuver the website immediately on the home page, you can scroll down just a little bit, and there's a form fill. And on that form fill, if you're looking at planning a vacation of any kind, an event, whether it be a reunion, a wedding, trip, for your honeymoon, a business trip, or even, an away game for Baylor, you want to take a group of people and fly to the Auburn game or whatever, you can go on my website, fill out that form fill, hit send, it'll come to me, and that's when I start working, and I basically get to work, and I put together a couple of options for you to consider, and I just say, here's some options, and from there we can tweak it and fine-tune it to get you exactly what you want, and hopefully get it for you within the budget that you want.
So this group travel is interesting to me, because I think if I just need to get from point A to point B, maybe a car and a hotel, that's a pretty simple transaction. But if I'm looking at a family reunion and I've got 20, 30 people, or we're doing as you said, we're going to take people from WACO and we're going to go to some destination as a group, whether it's sports related or family reunion or other events, that would take a lot of coordination. Whereas we might be able to just call you up and say, here's what we want to happen. Here's who needs to show up.
Yeah, and you can do it in multiple ways. I mean, if you've got, for example, a class reunion, I've got my 50th class reunion coming up here in July, and I've already been in contact with some of my elementary school and high school buddies that we've all grown up together, and we're going to all coordinate when we get there. But you can do it a couple of ways. One, everybody basically books their own flights to get from point A to point B. But once at point B, then I basically can plan everything as far as a venue to meet at, the caterers, everything involved, transportation from the airport to the hotel, book your hotel rooms for you, anything that's needed. Or I can go as far as to book airline reservations round trip for each individual member, wherever they're coming from, wherever they're going to be flying in from. So there's two aspects about it. It typically gets down to budgets for some people, but and I can even handle if somebody's got frequent flyer miles or something like that. I basically take all those notes and I work on that for them and take care of that. Same thing with hotel points. I'm a big Hilton guy, so I have huge Hilton points. I can take care of all of that for them so that, again, all they have to do is just show up.
I was on your website and was looking at the different specials that you have. What I noticed is there's basically something for everyone.
I started playing with the travel idea for many, many years, because, again, I've traveled my whole life, and I never got serious about, never even gave it a second thought because I had another career of getting into the travel agency business. But as my career was winding down and I was thinking about retiring because my wife had been retired, I met a person who's a travel agent out of North Carolina, and it just seemed ironic to me, almost like God had put us together, because I went on 2 or 3 trips, and every time I went on a trip, she was there. And she had been talking to me about starting a travel business and said she would help me as a host and get it started. And so I started dabbling in it last year part-time, and then by the first of this year, I was full-blown into it and ended up just jumping in a lot heavier than I thought I was going to initially jump into it, to where now it's been a blast and I'm enjoying it every single day. And it's growing and growing and growing for me to the point that I may have to do something I wasn't planning on doing, and that's hire some people to help out. But
I understand that.
I've got my wife involved, and right now we're doing really well with it. And it was a blessing for me to be able to do the travel business, because I'm taking great enjoyment with being able to help people, and take the stress out of it.
Travel a Go-Go, I've got to say, we're about the same age, and I love the name. I love it harkens back to that heyday of elegant travel, 50s, 60s, really 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
My uncle was a supervisor for the FAA in the control towers. So he was posted all around the world and always traveled. And those were the days when guys wore suits and the women wore dresses.
Yeah.
To get onto that Pan Am flight.
Yeah.
And they were given Pan American travel bags, right? I mean, it was a bit of elegance. And Travel a Go-Go harkens back to the Whiskey a Go-Go. Maybe people can look that up, find that on Google. Find that on Google. So let's talk about, how did you come up with the name Travel a Go-Go?
Well, I didn't. My wife did.
That's even better.
Long story short, having been in the marketing business for 40 plus years, I have a marketing mindset about everything. And so when I decided late last year to basically venture into this full time, I really started looking at what's a good name, because you look at travel agency names and there's, Boudoir Travel, and there's all the really nice names. But to me, it's like, what does it mean? Some of them almost make it sound luxurious, but being luxurious also implies expensive. And I want to be an all around, all-inclusive travel agency. To me, all-inclusive means any budget, any customer. And so I was talking to my wife one day, and she just blurted out, well, how about Travel a Go-Go? And I don't know what it was about it, but it immediately stuck with me. And so what was funny is, when I first mentioned Travel a Go-Go to a mutual friend of ours, he made the comment, he said, I saw it on Facebook when you sent out a notification to friends. And he goes, it intrigued me. I want to talk more about it. And that's when I knew I had the right name. And so that's kind of how it spawned. I can thank my wife for it, because the creative mind wasn't that creative, so.
I love it. I think that's just that's a good story, but it is a great name, Travel a Go-Go. There was a travel agency in the community I grew up in, and they were away travel. I always thought it was clever. They had a great tagline. It says, "When you go away."
That is good. That
Yeah,
is
right.
very
It was always there. So Travel a Go-Go, I mean, it evokes so much imagery for me. So well done on that. Let's talk about destinations and some of the different packages that you're seeing, because as we were sitting down for lunch, your phone goes off and you're like, here's a new package for a cruise. That was a steal of a deal, by the way.
Yeah.
7 nights.
Yeah, it's MSC cruise out of Galveston, 7 nights into the Western Caribbean for starting at $397. I literally spend half of my day looking at hot deals that come in from various vendors. So, I mean, you can look at something that's the most luxurious trip imaginable that would include free airfare and all-inclusive excursions and everything else, which would be like a Viking river cruise going down the Rhine River from the Netherlands to Budapest, for example. Or you can find one like this one in Galveston for $397, 8 days, 7 nights, round trip out of Galveston. And there's really, not one size fits all. It's very customizable for anybody's budget, whether it be a solo traveler or a family reunion or a business group. It doesn't matter. I'm working on a church group right now on a faith-based tour, which is the land of Paul, which starts in Greece and goes all the way from Greece through Italy and all the historical religious sites. It's very intriguing. The more I dig into it, the more I find. So
that's fascinating. I want to put you on the spot and ask for some recommendations. We're coming into summer, Central Texas. It's going to be hot. People are thinking, maybe I want to hit something that's not going to be Central Texas weather. Where would you recommend domestically?
Alaska's always a big choice, or Iceland or someplace like that, because it's just the beauty and the wildlife and just the overall coolness of the weather and the purity of the land around you. I mean, it's just beautiful and scenic. If you're a sunbather connoisseur, oh my God, it's limitless. You can go anywhere from Barbados, which is beautiful, to Belize, to anywhere in the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic area, or you can head on over. I mean, Mediterranean's never a miss for anybody, in my opinion. The Mediterranean is one of my favorite places. Italy and Greece and France, Germany, any of those are just beautiful. This is a great time of the year to go through that area and travel through the Alps and stuff like that, because you can do a cruise in the Mediterranean. You can do a rail ride that actually is a rail ride that goes all through the Alps in several stops in several different towns. So it's pretty limitless.
My cousin is a big motorcycle enthusiast. He's got a number of bikes, takes tours all the time. One of his favorite things to do is to go and rent a motorcycle and do a vacation in the Alps.
Oh, yeah.
The roads there, unbelievable. The pictures, just fantastic. Yeah. So there truly is something for everybody.
Yeah.
It seems to me that the Mediterranean would be one of those romantic destinations. So if a guy is thinking, my anniversary is coming up,
depending on what time of the year your anniversary is, if you're like a fourth quarter of the year anniversary, I would definitely look at doing a river cruise and do what they call the Christmas tour, which is all of the Christmas towns in Austria and Germany. And it's just beautiful because the excursions, you actually stop in each port and get to walk through those towns and villages and shop at some of the Christmas shops and enjoy the cuisine there and so forth. Italy, Greece, pretty much any time of the year. It's like here, it gets warm in the summer there, and there are times of the year where it's a lot more touristy and a lot more crowded, but there's still no denying the beauty of it. But there's also a lot of stuff in the States too. I mean, talking about your friend with motorcycles, there's a tour that goes right now. You can do it either a bus tour or you can do a chartered with like a coach, motor coach, or you can do a motorcycle tour through the canyons from Arizona all the way Utah into Wyoming and stuff. That's
that's just
really
really gorgeous area there.
yeah. People don't think of river cruises, but you've got, several of American Cruise Lines is the one most known here, but you've got a lot of the European cruise lines coming over here now, like Viking and Amma Waterways. They've actually started cruising in Canada and the U.S. rivers, so you can go into Seattle and take a river cruise down through, Snake River Canyon and all of that area.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite places that I think I told you at lunchtime, I would love to retire there if I can convince my wife of it, is Victoria, British Columbia. That's just a beautiful area. We actually were up there for my brother's wedding in Portland and went from there to Seattle and then up into Vancouver, Canada, and took the Queen Victoria ferry through the Puget Sound over to Victoria, and it was the most just awe-inspiring beauty I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I think people can go to Butchart Gardens is, of course, famous.
That's my favorite place.
The Princess Hotel is architecturally just unbelievably gorgeous.
It reminded me of the show Fantasy Island when I was there.
Yeah.
Originally, it's changed some now, and it's still beautiful. It's just grown a little more. But years ago, when I first went there back 20-something years ago, it reminded me of Fantasy Island. I kept waiting on Tattoo to come out, but it was just because there was amphibious planes landing there and coming in.
Let's talk about, what do you see in the future for travel? How are things changing? I love that the travel agency is coming back, that Travel A Go-Go is available. Let's talk about, what do you see in the future?
I see an industry that is becoming a more high demand because, again, with as many options as there are out there for people to explore, it becomes overwhelming for a lot of people. And if you've ever been on the internet and purchased something you didn't know you were going to purchase, it's real easy to make mistakes on the internet. We alleviate all that by basically going through trusted, certified vendors that, we all have to be licensed and certified for every vendor we use. So, I mean, I'm certified with several other resorts like Sandals and Marriott. Literally every cruise line I have to get certification on, I'm certified with CLIA, which is the Cruise Line International Association, and they keep you up with things to watch for, like that's going on health-wise, safety-wise, ports to avoid, things like that. Which keeps us up to date on what to recommend for people. I see it growing because people are busy. People have way too many choices now, and it just, again, gets overwhelming. And, when before you know it, if you don't watch it, budgets can also get away from you, and then it can go from being an affordable vacation to you're overwhelmed and you overspent, and it can become a real problem. Other things people don't ever want to consider, but to me is a necessity, things like travel insurance, because, again, today in the world that we live in, if you, for example, have to fly from, let's say, here to Miami to catch a ship in Miami because you're going to go down to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, that area like that. If you plan your flight in on the day of the excursion's departure, if that flight's delayed or, God forbid, is canceled, you don't get your money back on that cruise. You've just lost it. Or, God forbid, you get sick. I was telling somebody just recently, I broke my own rule. My wife and I, in February, went on a MSC cruise down to Western Caribbean, just a 7-day getaway, and I did not buy travel insurance. And I had knee replacement surgery back in July, and my knee's been feeling great. And the first day we walked and walked and walked and walked and walked, and the next morning I got up, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't walk. And I didn't have travel insurance, and they don't take insurance, your American insurance, on the ships. And so I went down, and basically they put some, numbing solution on it and gave me some muscle relaxers, and off I went. And I was fine the rest of the cruise until I had to disembark, and I got hit with a $750 bill for a 20-minute visit on the ship. travel insurance would have cost me less than $100 at that point had I bought it. So, there's things I try and tell people, if you don't do anything, get travel insurance. Things that they want to get that, that you're always welcome to get, but may not even be necessary. Again, it depends on what you like. And through my question and answers in the form that you filled out, once we design the trip, it's going to be a turnkey trip that you can just go and have fun, but still flexible enough. If for some reason you need to alter something, we can alter it a little bit.
So Gregg Dungan of Travel-A-Go-Go, travelagogo.net.
Yeah, greg.travelagogo@outlook.com is the email. And then just travelagogo.net is the website. And then I'm also on Facebook at just Travel-A-Go-Go, Instagram, TikTok. I have a blog on my webpage that is new. I'm still experimenting with it. I got 3 or 4 blogs on there now. There's 3 of them that mainly just talk about things to look out for, what you should take, packing ideas, tips to know about what to expect on a cruise or what to expect when you're traveling, like travel insurance. There's also a tips section on there. There's also a section on there for hot deals that I upload as often as I can. I mean, I get so many of them, I can't upload all of them, but the ones that I think are going to be the most sought after, I'll load up on there. And then I have a blog that I'm working on that I'm curious to see how it goes. So I would love input from people. It's called Travel Without a Ticket. And within that blog, I'm creating a thing called Travel-A-Go-Go's Global Kitchen. And the concept behind it is basically, if you look at, for example, the Mediterranean, not only is there history there and there's beauty there, but, those entire cultures are built on family. They're built on their cuisine, and groups of people, entire neighborhoods gather together every day and eat together. That's what builds the community and builds that tradition and that history. And it's all based around their recipes. And so Travel-A-Go-Go Global Kitchen is going to be a concept that I'm experimenting with. You can actually go on there, read a little bit about Italy, for example, 1 week, a little bit about the cuisine, and get three recipes off of there that you can try at home. If you are not a cook, I'm going to put on there some recommendations on where locally you can go to a restaurant here and try those plates out. And then at the end of the blog, it'll say, next week I'm going to be in Greece. Come back and see me again next week. And the concept is each week or 2, I'll be in a different section of the world, bringing you different recipes from all over the world for you to try. And what a better way to build up your desire to try it in real life somewhere than to try their food. Because, if you're not a big Mediterranean food person, you will be. Because, it's excellent food.
The WACO Experience, An American Story, is a production of D. Scott Smith Company, all rights reserved. Thank you for listening.